All right, time for a brief excursion through the grass family. The scientific name of the grass family is the Poaceae. The Poaceae grass family, or Poaceae. All right, well, here's some picture from your textbook showing a simple grass flower. These are perfect flowers. I see both the male parts, the stamens, and the female parts. This is an ovary, and it's got a two-part stigma style, feathery stigma and style, and an ovary with one ovule inside. Perfect flowers, incomplete but perfect. Here's up closer and personal. Same type of thing. A complete, not complete, but perfect, a perfect grass family flower. There are some strange names here. Grass family flowers are so different that a very different terminology is developed for some of its parts. But the ones we'll talk about are the male and female parts. This being the male parts, the three anthers, and the divided stigma in style, divided into two parts. The ovary with how many ovules inside? One ovule. Just looking at this picture and seeing what we see here. If we knew nothing else, we would say that the grass family is a monocot family or a dicot family. Yes, a what? Monocot family, flowering parts, flower parts in threes or multiples of three. There you have it. And so here's an actual grass family flower. This will be on your next lab test. This is as small as I can get it, but what do we have here? We have the big old, what here? Ovary. Actually, it's really tiny, but it's filling the screen. An ovary, what's inside? An ovule. How many ovules again? One ovule inside the ovary. And so what are these here? And this over here? These are leading up to the anther. So this must be a what? A filament. A filament. And so we have an ovary with one ovule inside and a peak at an anther up there and its filament, and another filament over here. Moving a little higher in the flower, we see the feathery what? Stigma. You can see two different branches. I can't see it too well, but this is the feathery stigma, the style that attaches the ovule just below here at the bottom of this picture. And so the feathery stigma, why is it helpful for the grass family flower? A grass family flower, this is a little wheat flower in particular, but why is it helpful for it to have a feathery stigma? How are all flowers of the grass family pollinated? By wind. Yes, by wind. And what are these big red things back here? There's one, two, three of them. You can see quite a bit of two of them. What are those? Those are what? The anthers. Huge anthers. Huge anthers. How does that fit in with things we've talked about before? Again, how is the grass family, how are grass family flowers pollinated? By wind. And if you're going to send your pollen off in the breezes, you better do what? Make a lot of it, because that's an inexact means of dispersal. So grass family flower anthers are huge, huge anthers, sending a lot of pollen off in the breezes, but then there's this feathery stigma, which increases the chances of what? Catching some of that pollen floating by in the breezes. And here is the top of a couple anthers. Here's a third anther over here peeking. But here's two anthers. What are all those little guys inside? Some of which picked up the stain and some of which did not. They are pollen grains in some stage of development. What's this blurry blue thing over here, bluish thing? That's the feathery what? Stigma. There you have it. And then we talked for a while about an oddball member of the grass family called corn. What is odd about corn flowers compared to the flower we just looked at? For example, the wheat flower. The wheat flower we just looked at was perfect or imperfect? It was perfect. But what about these corn flowers? Perfect or imperfect? They are what? They are imperfect. What does that mean? That means there are separate male and female flowers. And where are the male flowers? Up here at the top in what's called the tassel. And so you see the three anthers hanging down from one of the little male corn flowers. Where are the female flowers again? Down in the ears of corn. Fact is, every grain to be or kernel to be was once a female flower. And it has some details down here of the female flower. But there are these silks that stick out of the unopened ear. You can see it over here. And what flower part of those? They are styles. There's one silk each attached to what? These female flowers. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Actual corn. Here's some corn growing. Here's some tassels. These contain the male or female flowers. The male flowers. And here's some male flowers with the anthers hanging down. You can see the anthers hanging down of these male flowers up at the top of the corn stalk and what's called the tassels. And then down here we have the ears of corn. What are these silky things sticking out? Well, they're commonly called silks, but what flower part are they again? They are the what? They are the styles. And so we see now a corn flower, an ear of corn has developed. Every one of these grains was at once a what? A female flower. Now it's actually technically a little fruit called a what? A grain, commonly called a grain. And so, what are these silks again? They are what? They are styles. There is one silk attached to each one of these, what are now grains. They were female flowers, now they are grains. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our brief excursion through the grass family, the Poaceae. All right, bye-bye.